What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Draymond, and welcome to Thorium Gaming. We're back with episode 52 of Freezer to Fallout, our adventures through the post-apocalyptic Boston wasteland. And as you'll notice, we're no longer at the drive-in, but we are back in Far Harbor. Went back and did a little bit of cap consumption and all that sort of stuff so we can get the more legendary recon armor as we go along. Still not quite enough, but we can do some of the side quests today and get through a bunch of stuff. So without any further ado, let's get right to it. Now, one thing we did miss in the intervening time is a child of Adam got basically knocked off outside of the gates of Far Harbor. Yeah, it wasn't too great. Kind of regretting not getting it on there, but it was Mr. Allen, the weapons merchant, that did it, so there's that. But let's turn in our quest here.
Grandpa George can rest in peace. The fire crawler is dead.
Wonderful. That's another chapter successfully concluded. You truly are the heroic event. I hoped you were. With that fog crawler gone, we can send some folks up there to get the place ready for it. That's right. The farm is yours. Your own little piece of the island. It'll take work to get it up and running again, but you'll have help. And here's another 200 caps in gratitude.
Alright, so we now have a farm out here, and we got some caps out of it, so it's no trouble at all.
It's no trouble.
Well, I hope you know how much it means to me that Grandpa George can finally rest in peace. Now, I don't have to tell you that the bonds of blood and family are strong. As strong as any a person can know. But if you ask me, the strongest among them is the bond that exists between two married people. That's why the last part of this tale is the hardest one for me to tell.
Oh, no, we know how you feel.
Believe me, I know exactly how you feel.
If that's true, then I'm sorry to hear it. Perhaps we'll confront our pain together. My late husband, Daniel, was the best fisherman this island ever saw. He and his crew had a favorite fishing spot out by Brooks Head Lighthouse. One day, a day I'll never forget, I see Danny's boat pulling up with his crewmen all shouting and carrying on. Turns out some trappers moved into the lighthouse. No doubt because the island told them to. They're all crazier than a bag of mole rats. Their leader was having a little target practice. Shot Danny right between the eyes. Killed him, just like that. You go and get that son of a bitch. You make him pay for doing the island's bidding.
Consider it done.
I'll make that trapper pay.
All right, then. Remember, trappers may be half crazy from the fog, but they still know how to use a gun.
Alright, so there's that. I guess apparently we're going to have to deal with that. We do have to do the rite of passage still. And eliminate the trapper leader. I think that's the last one in this particular chain series. At least until it opens up to the next one. So where is the lighthouse? Way off in the distance, and we still have to go do the drop the meat in the water. But if we go to the Dalton farm, we can probably do a bit of work here, get it connected to our other settlements. I'm pretty sure that the people that we have here start down here. And there they are. So, while it's not a Mechanist Slayer automatron, we're going to set you up with a supply line to the Mechanist Slayer. And that will give us access to all we need here. Now, when we ran through here last time, since we've got the other settler right there, we can just run up and assign her to some food. And these houses apparently just don't need to exist. So we can get rid of them. And a fishing rod. So we have a lot of wide open space and not a lot of buildings to basically structure around up here. This entire place got pretty beat over before we even got here. So it's not like we have any shells or anything to build off of. But since this is going to be used as like a temporary refuge, temporary base sort of thing, we do have one advantage. Prefabs. They're not the greatest structures in the world, and generally speaking they won't sit very nicely on the ground. But by using the prefabs, no matter how big or small they actually turn out to be, we can just create a quick and temporary little island getaway that will allow us to put some beds inside. Of course, go with the military style beds because I'm a big fan of them. And there. And there. Like I said, it's pretty quick and dirty. Doesn't need to be too fancy. But if we go over to the defenses, I have no idea what direction enemies could come from here. So we're just going to face a heavy turret facing off that way. One watching over our crop fields. And then one watching over towards the shore. So now it's giving us a fair bit of room and leeway to play with. Last thing we're going to do, before we continue on with scouring the island, set up a power generator and a recruitment beacon. So now we have what in essence turns out to be a little base for ourselves out here. So we have to go chum the water and kill some trappers at a lighthouse. We haven't explored the southern half of the island at all, really, so we're going to go back to the movie theater. I really wish this movie theater turned out to be like the drive-in back in the Commonwealth. I really like building up around these things. They're great little structures as a foundation. So if you guys see me after the apocalypse going out and making up a base settlement, whatever you want to call it, near an old abandoned movie theater, like a drive-in, you'll know why. I got a thing for them. They're beautiful. I love them. Of course, we're going to be going through a lot of stuff. We have to be careful out here. And there's part of the reason why. We don't really have much cover out here. Trappers are definitely still able to use their guns despite the fact that they're half crazy. Most definitely able to use their guns still. Alright, so that's a couple of trappers down. Let's see what that legendary had on him. A pack right arm. Now that's a big thing, because that's a Nuka World piece that has come in for us right now. Guess we're getting up to the level where we're seeing the Nuka World gear all over the place, which I'm not entirely against. Because some of the stuff is good. I like the Operators or the Disciples gear myself, but we'll get into what those all look like later on. When we finally get there. Where'd that third trapper go? Guess we're not going to see him here. But let's just keep running on towards where we are going to fight something pretty big. We don't have any Minutemen in the area. We do have some fairly strong weapons. Of course, my habit of cycling through all my weapons. That's just a holdover because I got multiple games on the go, and I kind of honestly forget what I'm using half the time. Okay, so that looked like it. Angler meat will definitely help when we get down there. I think Piper's got herself into a bit of a sticky situation and we're going to have to go help. Well, that took almost an entire clip, which definitely not good. But we managed to drop another legendary, so they're popping up a little bit more frequently. Metal arm doesn't really help us. Love to see some of the Far Harbor recon armor pop up, but that's very doubtful at this point. Either way, the legendary items that we get from here we can sell off for a fair amount of caps and turn them into the stuff that we actually want. And since we're out during the day this time, I don't have to worry about being lost or confused in the mist as much. There are still a bunch of anglers around, though. They're venomous, too, so they're the guys that spit. Whew. Looks like just getting to this place is going to be a lot of fighting. Dead overturned boat. Definitely soaking up some rads while we're out here, though. Only 28 meters. Okay, so we've got our guy here ready to watch us take on what we're going to be fighting. Which means we just need to get out here. So before we actually jump into the fight with whatever this is supposed to be, we are going to get rid of our radiation, throw a little bit of Rad-X on, buff ourselves up a little bit, and then drop some angler meat. Wow. Okay, so it's some Mirelurks. Totally dealt with Mirelurks before. Alright, so drop some more meat. That's a Mirelurk King. That was a legendary albino hunter. An irradiated board. That's such a useful piece of equipment, but that is a legendary Mirelurk Queen. Managed to get her to irradiate already. I so love this explosive assault rifle. That made that fight very, very awesome. A plasma-infused combat shotgun. That'll be worth some cash anyway. And now our witness is gonna run back to Far Harbor and tell him what he done seen. Since we're out this way anyway, we might as well go kill those trappers for Mrs. Dalton. See what we can do about getting rid of them. Oh, those are landmines. Whew, I actually managed to disable the landmines without getting myself killed. That's unusual. saw some trappers here. Doesn't look like they're... There we go, now they're fighting us. Alright, well that takes care of them. Heard another grunt. Trapper's just waiting. Oh. Hate these kind of places because they're usually filled with bad guys, and one of them usually has a heavy weapon that pretty much wrecks our day. Saw some motion down there. Now, it would really suck if they had something else in here. We're just going to go with our plasma to go in guns blazing. Okay, so that worked out okay. I didn't even see what this area got discovered as. Maybe we haven't discovered it yet. There's some radstag. Okay, so apparently I have to jump over the radstag. We've given some stuff to Piper. Maybe I was being paranoid for nothing. Sure as heck doesn't seem like anything in here was too worth anything. Just have some grilled radstag, increase our... Oh, there's a mini nuke. Mini nuke. Oh, he had a fat man. Okay, so I was completely justified. I'm not going crazy. That's just spotlight control. Okay, so maybe I'm not entirely nuts. Just mostly nuts. Piper. We're going to give you a whole bunch of junk. Get our weight down as much as we can. And did we pick up any silly weapons that we don't need to keep on us? Meat hook. Plasma infused shotgun, irradiated board. Yeah, we picked up a few more or less dubious weapons. We don't really need to worry about. And that's a glowing Yao Guai that now is dead. Okay, so our rifleman skill is basically carrying us right now, because Yao Guai are not easy. They're not the stunted ones that we kept seeing back in the Commonwealth. That was a full-grown Yao Guai. At the same time, we kind of took it out pretty easily. This place looks like it's not even mentioned on a map. Ah, I know what that place is, but we're not going to be going there just yet. Hey, and we leveled up. Okay, so we'll be picking up some more scrap from these random ghouls that we happen to run into. Not so random when you realize what that place is, but we'll get to that shortly. Key thing is we leveled up. I just want to get away from the building a little bit, just to not run into anything, but apparently that's not part of my plan today. So one of the loading tooltips when I was running around earlier said that these things are like geckos or salamanders that have mutated. Which kind of makes sense, if you look at their heads. Definitely not the friendliest looking types, but while we have a break in the action, let's go into our perks and see what we can do to level up. We have pretty much everything that we could possibly want right now, but if we pick up Fortune Finder, we'll find some more caps out there. That'll help us out a fair bit. And now I've gotten turned around just a slight bit. I know we still have to keep going south. We still have a fair ways to go down this road, if you want to call it that. What's left of this road, before we get to where the trappers we have to kill are. Nothing really. Oh, Wake Master alarm clock's always good, or just alarm clocks in general. So let's keep pushing south. So many young gulpers, so little plasma ammo. It's weird that in a strange, deadlier sort of way, this reminds me a lot of the places around where I live that I used to go camping as a kid. Minus the monsters trying to kill you. You just had regular animals trying to kill you out there. Mostly cougar and grizzly bears. Occasional rattlesnake, too. I always like these kind of zones, though. Reminds me of home and lets me immerse myself in the game a little bit more. Maybe that's why Far Harbor creeps me out so much. It reminds me a lot of where I come from, so I can mentally put all of these bad guys and everything into the areas around my home. I don't know if that's entirely intentional on Bethesda's part, but you know what? I'm going to take it as a win. Being able to put yourself in the shoes of a character is always good, even if that character doesn't exactly match you. Alright, I think this is where we have to go. Not even close, Dre. Not even close. Our Psycho buff is finally worn off. It's the Fringe Cove docks. Oh, a gulper we missed. Oh, it's a glowing gulper. That stung. Should have some nuclear material on it at the very least. Had a Deathclaw hand on it for some reason. Was kind of guarding this camp, I think. Hey, some purified water, some food that we're not going to pick up. Don't need to pick up potted meat. I'll take frag grenades and cryo mines, though. Well, frag grenades for throwing, cryo mines for selling. Barely good enough at it. Okay, that was kind of creepy. I heard a... Sounds like a railroad rifle. Oh, it's a harpoon gun. That's one less trapper. And we just plucked a chicken. So that's cool. A rad chicken. Ow, that grenade hurt. Let's try to keep this from turning into a knife fight, shall we? Unfortunately, we're not going to get our wish. Someone must have picked up that harpoon gun. Oh, ow. Did I step on a bear trap or something? Oh, and that's just what we need. An angler getting involved in this fight. An albino, no less. I should have said it that, but, you know, I'm so professional when it comes to this. You know how it works out. Sometimes you just gotta say what your mouth is too stupid to actually articulate. Man, that harpoon gun hurts. I just saw a harpoon go flying by me, and that's a grenade. I think we're gonna have to drop another psycho buff. These guys are turning out to be a little bit tougher than I thought they would. That's why I made some before we came out here. Oh, ow. That was both our arms in one shot. I also made a bunch more stim packs too, though, so I'm not too worried about dying. How can this fight not be over? These are some really committed trappers. And you can turn into a puddle of goo. Alright, now there was a legendary raider or trapper in there. I'm gonna keep saying raider, I don't know why. Just a regular harpoon gun, but where did the legendary trapper go? Because I'm pretty sure there was a legendary in there, unless we completely disintegrated him and his body is not able to be recovered. Like this guy, only we were able to find bits of this guy. It does happen sometimes. Oh well, let's run up and see what we can do about finding our way in here. Finishing off a trapper to avenge Mrs. Dalton. Alright, creepy music, you can stop anytime now. You're really not helping me not panic and give everybody another jump scare. So, I'm guessing they'd say, hey, you can keep going. But, for me, please stop. Please. Oops. That was the wrong button. Now we got a bunch more trappers to deal with. But they're apparently below us. A mysterious holotape. Oh, we're gonna have to listen to that. Inventory, not data. Yeah, mysterious holotape.
Well, that settles it. I am 100% screwed. Damn this fog. You'd think a lighthouse would be easy to find, but not this. Never seen fog like it. Can't believe I let myself get talked into this. How do I know that woman wasn't crazy? I'm starting to think her whole story was some fantasy she cooked up to get attention. Taking out one
Okay, so maybe Douglas was tricked and we subsequently got tripped afterwards. He had a revolutionary sword. I think we're gonna take that. Oh, he had a Chinese officer sword, even better. I know there's one more trapper around here. I want to pick up as much experience and... Oh, that's not a trapper. It's a machine gun. That is a good point, Piper. Some of the turrets have been here for 200 years, and most of the other tech in the game has kind of gone... Yes, that's my amazingly good sound effect for technological fritz out.
Can't break the code.
Can't break that code. Alright, so I guess we should head back to Far Harbor. And I guess we overloaded ourselves by accident, but that's okay. We're right near the 2 quest givers that we got to turn into. And
You know, when I'm feeling down, a little commerce always cheers me up. Let's deal. Let's set you up.
alright, so see, he only has 4 caps left because I may or may not have come through and sold a bunch of stuff to him to get our caps up. But that's okay. We used a lot of plasma cartridges. So, by doing that, and then going through and selling off all the stuff that we don't want to hang on to, and I'm selling the cryo stuff for a very specific reason. I've never been good at using them, and I find that even if I was good at using them, well, they're not exactly the most effective grenades out there. That should lighten us up to the point where we can run.
Knuckleheads don't trust you now. Well, fuck them, right? I expect folk will do more talking now. I even have some more work for you. Maybe hit up Mitch at the last plant.
Well, thanks for the help, Doc.
Serious. Thanks, Teddy.
You are the most peculiar main person I've ever had the occasion to meet. Take this. And, if you're inclined, socialize. It's your party after all.
Alright, so the captain's hat increases your movement speed by 10%. Don't think we're really going to use that given that we have the recon helmet.
But this here feast is
So,
that we
clam
can
bake?
turn
Crab
things
bake?
around. Now I know mainlanders have been responsible for all manner of harm, but this one is special. This one did the captain's dance. It's true. I saw it. So in my book, he's not a mainlander anymore. He's one of us.
Mainlander! Ha ha! I saw the whole thing. Queen shit.
Hey, Doc.
Dark days. We lost another patient, Andre. It never gets easy. Please tell me you're feeling well at least.
Well, how's it going?
How's it going?
People around here have had a hard going, and manners on this island are a bit sparse in the best of times. The mainlanders tend to be a bit friendlier, all told, so I always enjoy the extra company.
Well, we're not interested in any healing right now, but it did say help Mitch, not Teddy.
That trapper who killed your husband is dead.
And it's done. It's finally done. All those lives that were lost, all those debts finally repaid. And it was no son or daughter of Far Harbor who stood up to the island and avenged the Dalton bloodline. It was you, an outsider, a mainlander. The final chapter's been written. The story has come to an end. This is a day I never thought I'd live to see. Thank you.
Well, glad to help.
I was glad to help. I hope I've put your mind at ease.
You certainly have. Now, every good story's gotta have a happy ending, right? The hero finds the treasure, saves the sweetheart, and rides off into the sunset. Well, I'm a little old to leap up on a horse. But I have got something close to a treasure. This is an heirloom that's been in my family for... let me think. Oh, for at least a generation or two. There's no Daltons left to inherit the thing, so it might as well pass on to you. The island knows this weapon. Oh, yes. You carry this, and it'll take you seriously. And that's it. That's the end. I can sleep easy now, knowing there won't be any unfinished business when they put me in the ground. Off you go now. My story's over, but yours, I think yours is only just getting interesting.
Alright, Bloodletter. Target bleeds for an additional 25 points of damage. Bad. Now before we call it a week this time, my favorite quest on all of Far Harbor because of its quest giver.
Mister, I have to talk to you. I got 14 and a half caps. I want to hire you.
Well, we'll help for free.
I may be able to help, but I don't want your caps.
You're right about you, they say. But if you help, you'll get paid. Harbormen don't belong on this dock. We keep clinging here, we'll bleed out and die. To get better, to grow stronger, we need land. Echo Lake Lumber Mill has power lines that connect to the old wind farm. If you clear the land, Harbormen can wire up the condensers. Make it safe from the fog.
You are a remarkable young lady.
You know, you're quite a remarkable girl.
If you say so. I just don't want this pier to kill what's left of my kin. I know the money's a joke. But if my friends can resettle, I'm sure they'd do anything for you. And owe you big. Please. Help.
Now the reason I like it, Small Bertha is doing everything she can for the right reasons. She has 14 and a half caps, and you know what? We're not even going to try and take it, because that little girl is amazing. And with the amount of nieces that I have out there, I hope they have character like hers. It's kind of sentimental, it's kind of touchy, but she's well written, and really, we're going to do it. We'll have to. But that's going to be on the next episode, next Sunday. I'm really enjoying pumping out 2 videos of this a week for you guys, because I'm having fun, I hope you're having fun. And we're on crunch time towards Fallout 76, and I want to hit the ground running with you guys when that comes out, because it's going to be a blast. Hopefully it's going to be a lot more building up. Settlement building, reconquest of the wasteland, you know, that sort of stuff. But if you did like the video, guys, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, be part of our community, just hit that subscribe button. Make sure to turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes out. But remember, guys, life is a game, so play to win. And until next time, take care.